One of the more amazing things about our hearing is that we're able to locate where a sound came from just when we hear it. We know instinctively that it's to the right or left. And to explain how that happens, I'll draw me just in a top-down view, my right ear and my left ear, because I'm facing this way. Okay? And so if I hear a sound off in this direction, that's the source of the sound, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter, a speaker or a squirrel in the bush or whatever it is. Then the sound waves start to emanate toward me, and they're coming from him, so they all spread away from the source at the same speed. And at moment 1, moment 2, moment 3, whatever. I don't need to get into numbers for this. There's no math involved. It's just intuition. But anyway, you can see that if they spread equally distanced from the source all the time, then the first thing they're going to hit is my right ear. And so then my right ear will say, oh, I just got a signal right here at 5 or whatever. So then my right ear gets a signal here. Right ear. And then as it moves on, I don't know if I should switch colors. I'll just keep going with blue. Then, I don't want to say these are seconds, because it shouldn't take an entire second for sound to go past your ear. These are tiny, tiny measures of time. But then at the next one, then your left ear, or my left ear, I guess, in this example, will hear it. So, it'll figure out the distance or the time difference between the right ear and the left ear, and then it can figure out at what angle it is to me. But the problem comes that if something down here did the same thing, then it would go here and then here and there, and then it would hit right there, the right ear. Okay, at the same 4 nanoseconds, or 4/100th of a second, whatever it is. Well, I guess, okay, I'll draw another one in. Just to make it more parallel, we'll say 5, and then on the 6th one, it hits the left ear, okay? So, RIGHT, and at 6, the left ear. I'm sorry that I'm drawing over my own diagram, but I want to point out that if the sound comes from here, or if it comes from here, it turns out to be the same phenomenon. Okay, so if I didn't move my head at all, if my head was in a vise and I couldn't move it, and I heard a sound, I could say, well, it either came from this direction at some point, because I can't tell how far away it is, really. I mean, by how loud it is, and if it's a recognizable sound, I might be able to guess. But just from this little difference of right ear, left ear thing, I can't tell how far away it is. So I could say it either came from that angle or from this angle. And I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure, but then I would know that it's not from here, for example, or anywhere in between. I would say it's not any of these angles. And another shortcoming, I guess, is if I gotta pick yet another new color. If it comes from straight in front of you, then, I mean, assuming you can't see it, assuming it's something hidden, if it comes from straight in front of you, then the sound waves will reach you. And they almost reached me, but not to my ears yet, just my forehead, and then it hits the right ear and the left ear at exactly the same time. I mean, I was drawing these lines from left to right, but really, this is a moment in time, that's the next one, the next one. So I would hear both at the same time. So I would say it's either right in front of me or right behind me, or, to draw me from the side, if, I don't know, my nose, lips, whatever, I'll have some hair. If I hear the sound at exactly the same time in both my ears, it could be that the object is right in front of me, right behind me, straight ahead of me, anything along, like, anything along this plane straight down in through my head. It could be right under me even, but all of those would be shown to me as the right and left ears hearing it at the same time. So that's another shortcoming. And to more graphically show, this one, I said it was just either this angle or that angle, but actually it's sort of a cone coming out from my ear that it could have been. Like, let's see, if there's me facing you, I'm drawing yet another perspective of this, and we're talking about the green lines. We're talking about, I guess, the blue and the purple dots. I'm afraid I'm just getting more and more convoluted as I go. But I said it could come from, 45 degrees in front of me or 45 degrees behind me. But also, it's possible that it could be coming from 45 degrees off to the side, like above and away from me, or 45 degrees to the ground. See, so we sort of have this curve, this cone coming out of me that it could be. And I mean, in this green example, if we hear, I'll use blue, if we hear the blue lines of right ear and then left ear, okay, then I know that it's not right here. I know that it's not right here, but I know that it could be here, it could be here, and it could be in front of me, or it could be behind me. But if I go right in the middle of the cone, I know that to recycle this drawing for the green example, I know that it's not straight out from my ear at any distance away. If it's far away from my ear, it also has to be up or to the side or something. So maybe I gave you the intuition here. If my ramblings toward the end confused you, you can watch the video again and maybe you'll hear something that you didn't the first time. If not, it's not super important of all these specifics, but I just want you to get the idea that if you hear something in one ear before the other ear, that's what helps you place it. And so if you hear something and then you turn your head, then you can hear it again, but your ears will be in a different position. Like, I need a bright color to cover over him. If this guy turns his head so that that's his ear and that's his ear, then he would be able to hear, if the sound wave comes off here, it would reach the left ear first, left ear and then right ear, and then the right ear. And he would be able, after he turned his head and heard it again, or heard something similar, he would be able to tell more specifically where it is. He would narrow down the possibilities of where it came from. And so it is hard to place things when you hear them, and if it's a prolonged thing, like rather than just a rustling in the leaves, if it's, the howl of a wolf in the distance or something, then you have the opportunity to turn your head and hone in on it. So the only thing that you really need to take away from this, the one kernel that I want you to get, is that if something hits one ear before the other, you can tell where it is a little bit. And all this other stuff is just extra.